Wrapped his call for lawmakers to go into special session this morning after Speaker Judy Wonpat decided to call her colleagues into a session last night. As we reported on KUAM.com, an override of the governor's veto of Bill 516 failed. The governor vetoed the bill, which was to address U.S. DOE's extension for Guam DOE to obligate ERA money, but also included language to clean up a major error in the current fiscal year budget, which left a majority of unclassified employees in the legislature and judiciary, including judges and justices, without funding to pick up a paycheck. It also included a provision that reappropriated funding that was intended for mental health for its permanent injunction to instead go to UOG and GCC. The latter provision was the primary reason Calvo vetoed the bill, adding he believes the legislature's 48-hour action on the measure was hypocritical.
Not too long ago, the Vice Speaker and the Ways and Means Chair berated our people for not giving a personal invitation to the retirement fund to attend our 20 community meetings dealing with cuts to government spending. And then here we have now a measure that takes $3 million from mental health to be spent at GCC and UOG without so much as a public hearing, not even any correspondence to our administration that they were attempting to do this. So I see a bit of contradiction.
As we reported, federal management team's Dr. James Kiffer wished there would have been a public hearing on the bill so that he could testify against it. Meanwhile, during session last night, Senator Ben Pangilinan, like he did Monday night on KUAM, fessed up to the budget blunder and asked for support for the override.
I admit to that mistake, Madam Speaker. I think the judiciary is very comfortable that it was an unintended mistake and it was not intended to change the structure of how they operate and their ability to hire unclassified positions within the judiciary.
After the override failed, lawmakers then immediately passed Substitute Bill 496. The original version was introduced in August and specifically dealt with the ERA extension. The substitute version does the same thing, but addresses the budget blunder involving unclassified employees and yet another budget error dealing with the funding for cultural performers for this weekend's Micronesia Island Fair. Speaker Judy Wonpat.
Apparently the language there was not reflected in the final bill.
Although Substitute Bill 496 leaves out any mention of mental health, Governor Calvo says his team will conduct a thorough review to ensure there aren't any more surprises.
I have no problem with the Micronesia Fair, but again, it's another surprise, another example of the legislature obviously correcting some of the errors and the sloppiness that I've seen over these many months and years of this current legislature and the budgets they've passed. But then they're doing these corrections without any benefit of a public hearing.
Substitute Bill 496 passed unanimously.